This is actually inspired by the pilot of Blackadder. Truth to tell. Anybody who actually remembers the pilot episode of Blackadder remembers that it begins by explaining that history totally got duped on Richard III. That he was nothing like Henry VII portrayed him when he personally sat down and rewrote all the history books when he won. And that idea stuck with me for years. So I ended up picking up a book when I came across it on the life and times of Richard III. I read through it, and sure enough, to a large extent, that was the truth. At least that seemed to be the truth. And that became, how do I get that into a song? And recycling a tune I wasn't using, I think I pulled it off, and I guess we'll see. Basically, motif for me, I don't want to be, I think all of us run a risk. Are we going to be remembered for what we did on our worst day? Yeah. That's the theme here. Richard III, I say you all, was there ever a king so vile, stabbing his long way to the throne with a traitor's self-serving smile? What a fiend! Oh, how glad the people were when King Henry destroyed this brute. So say the Tudor histories, and they're surely beyond dispute. How on earth to bury such a king, hold no funeral, throw a fit? Still we must ask, is this the truth of the last Plantagenet? Fiercely young Richard, armies led to defend brother Edward's throne. Their middle brother, traitor turned, and his life forfeit to atone. But when Edward at 40 died from vice, and his protector he Richard named, all unprepared, twixt widow queen and the kingmaker's warring plains. His advisors all were chess masters, each one scheming against a threat. Swiftly the pawn did king himself as the last Plantagenet. Had he his nephew princes killed, it could be Richard was no saint. But if he erred in dealing death, it was toward mercy and restraint. For he left noble houses well intact, and great trouble for him they'd make. Unlike the Tudors' bloody reigns, for they never made that mistake. When King Henry gave the death decree, did his father-in-law regret having switched sides and sealed the fate of the last Plantagenet? 2 years upon the throne, not long for a king to perfect his art. Courtly intrigues were not his taste, and he never could play the part. But if most of the nobles loved him not, to the common folk he was true. Freeing us from corruption's grip, he did what a king must do. If it be his only legacy, that the poor might escape from debt. Deeply indeed his people mourned for the last Plantagenet. Bravely did our abandoned king meet his ending on Bosworth Field, felled by a ring of 20 swords, to the last though he would not yield. He was too much the soldier, swift to act, Surely this was his fatal trait. Now he's remade by Tudor scribes, patient schemer for all to hate. Did they bury Richard? Just his name, and the rest are we bid forget. Let us blame 30 years of strife on the last Plantagenet, though they called him England's enemy. In my mind, I can see him yet. 20 armed men, all bearing down on the last Plantagenet. Thank you.